was helping my friend's parents move a while ago, and they offered to let me dig through their pile of old chainsaws. Having recently looked into this build, I asked if there might be a Homelite XL among them, and in fact there was. A perfect match for the Evil Dead movies and TV show props. What are the odds, right? So with October coming up, I took it home and prepared to start the build. While gathering materials, I had a look through my own pile of old chainsaws, as you do, and grabbed a somewhat newer model of the same saw for parts. I printed out a few reference pictures of a prop from the TV show that was sold at auction. This project made heavy use of scaling to determine the correct sizes for things. To do this, I take two measurements of the image, one that I want to know, like the bar length, and one that I know already, like the distance between two corners. Take that ratio of unknown over known, multiply by the real-life known dimension, and I get the real-life measurement that I want. So according to that, the blade should be roughly out here. The original concept for this project was to make two configurations, one that is just a prop, and one that still runs with the original engine while mounted to my hand. I haven't gotten to that second part, but I kept the engine, made some provisions for putting it back, and came up with about half a plan for the running version. So it may yet appear on this channel one day. And now that you got the background, I'll be trying something different with the rest of this edit. In the interest of getting this out before spooky season is over, I'll be skipping the voiceover since it complicates things. Additionally, I put the clips in order of filming rather than following one piece at a time so you can see how I actually skip around. Also saves me the effort of organizing them. So please enjoy the rest of this slop and let me know if it works. So this little half dome aspect to this handle was throwing me off because it looks like it came from a solid piece. You know, there's no joint here for a little cap or something, because the original handle is hollow, bent steel. It's got these little dents in the corners from bends, and the one on the show does not. And then I looked over to my newer version of this same Homelite XL that I happen to have in my pile. It has a solid plastic handle, and this could have just been cut off right here and carved into that hemisphere. I got my wooden handle parts done, and you can see the broom handle was already aged naturally. It's got a darker exterior and a visibly lighter fresh cut surface, but I found if you take that surface and you just kind of grime it up with your dirty sweaty hand for a little while, it naturally produces a better color match. A little gross, but works and makes it look like it's already been on there for 30 years. Ugh, fucking stinks in there. For the more costume-friendly version of this project without the running motor, I made a couple of extra parts. First is this piece of engine from the newer version of this saw. I borrowed the exhaust off the old motor because the newer one doesn't fit in with this housing, but it still bolts right on. And the clutch is just kind of solidly bolted on there with a dowel shoved into the crankshaft bearing. Doubles as a hand grip when it's inside the housing. I also cut apart the fuel and oil reservoirs from the newer saw and borrowed the caps from the old one. They just kind of slot right into this half of the housing without taking up all the room that the tanks do. Wow, that barely works. barely working is still working. A couple of sharp edges in there that I'm going to have to take care of. I was looking around the shop for some electrical tape to wrap around the grip like they got on the prop. Found this, thought, oh, that looks like that's probably older than me. Looked at the label here. 1963. 60-year-old roll of tape. Not just older than me, older than my parents. Oh shit, that was the wrong end. So for my first bit of actual strategy in this build, I'm going to do some math to create this little heatsink looking thing they've got over the pull cord cover. So we've got 10 fins, 9 grooves. This is 2 3/4 inches in diameter. To complete that pattern with 10 fins and 10 grooves, we'll add a little fudge factor. So I will just mark from the edge of this piece of aluminum 2 7/8 inches. Rather than actually doing any math, figuring out how to space all those items. A quick and easy way is to make your scribe lines on an even interval that's easier to measure out. Place it diagonally so that the corners touch both edges. Now I can just take my square and use those little tick marks to draw my even spaces. It's a little hard to see the actual geometry of the prop piece, but I'm making sure to make this entire surface convex so there's no flat left from the stock material. Find in general getting rid of perfectly flat faces like that adds a lot of realism and visual interest to stuff like this. So it looks a little bit less like something they just stuck on to cover a label. There's my fake heatsink looking thing to go on the recoil. Would have liked to do some kind of chemical patination on it to get that old oxidized gray color a little more convincingly, but nothing I was trying was working. And I've got to bring this thing in a presentable fashion to a convention tomorrow, and I still don't even have a foam bar I can toss on this chainsaw that they will actually let me bring into the building. So a bit of overspray will have to do. Probably should have gotten all my weights together before I did this. Yeah, that's the shit. Hope they let me in with this metal bar and chain. Nice and dull, so. Groovy. Alright, I said it once, there you go. So there you have it. Nice little shortcut to making something realistic. Just start with the real thing. So, this is not the correct gun. Probably shouldn't be carrying it in public anyway. Usually I'll just wear this instead so I can whip it out and say, this is my boomstick. So thanks for watching. You stuck around this far. Hope to see you next time with whatever I come up with next.